When did you realize your parents gave power of attorney to the wrong kid? The neurologist said the word dementia at 3:47 p.m. on a Wednesday. My dad just stared at the wall. My older brother Daniel, the one with a law degree and dad's power of attorney, immediately checked his watch. Okay, so what's the timeline here? I have a deposition in Boston tomorrow. The doctor blinked. Your father needs full-time care within 6 months. We need to discuss facilities, legal arrangements, financial planning. Daniel cut him off. Right, I'll handle it. I have his POA. Just email me the paperwork. Then he stood up and walked out. Didn't even look at dad sitting there with tears running down his face. I drove dad home in silence. My phone rang. It was my younger sister, Jessica. The family screw up, 2 failed businesses, lives in a converted garage, works as a dog groomer. She said, I'm on my way. I'm staying the week. Daniel called that night from his hotel. I looked into memory care places. There's one in Tampa for $4,200 a month. I think we should move him there. I said, Daniel, we live in Ohio. Tampa is 1,100 miles away. Yeah, but it's cheaper and he's not going to remember where he is anyway. That's kind of the whole point. Jessica showed up the next morning with 3 suitcases. She printed guides on dementia care, medication tracking sheets, daily routine templates. She sat with dad and made a photo book labeled People I Love with all our pictures and names. Daniel sent emails, long emails about care strategies and financial optimization. He didn't visit. Jessica moved into the guest room. She learned his patterns, how he got confused after 6 p.m., how certain songs calmed him. She labeled everything in the house, installed extra locks so he couldn't wander. When dad had a bad night and didn't recognize her, she didn't panic. She showed him the photo book, played his favorite song, sat on the floor until he remembered. Daniel sent money, efficient wire transfers, perfectly calculated, also never called. 3 months in, dad fell in the bathroom at 2 a.m. I called Daniel first because he has the POA. He answered on the 5th ring, annoyed. What? Dad fell. I think he broke his hip. I'm taking him to the ER. Okay, keep me updated. I have an early meeting. Just text me. Don't call. I called Jessica next. She answered immediately. I'm getting dressed. I'll meet you there. At the hospital, the surgeon explained dad needed hip replacement surgery. The anesthesia could accelerate his cognitive decline. It was a difficult choice. Daniel sent a text. Do whatever is medically necessary. You have my verbal consent. Jessica held dad's hand in pre-op, showing him the photo book, reminding him who we were. She'd memorized his allergies, his medications, his medical history. Dad looked at her and said, You're my good girl. You always were. After surgery, dad needed 24/7 care. During recovery, Daniel emailed a list of professional home health aides, strangers. Jessica said, I'll do it. I'll take leave from work. Daniel actually called for that. Jessica, you can't afford unpaid leave. You're barely making rent. I'll figure it out. He's our dad. This is why you'll never get ahead. Too emotional. This is exactly why mom and dad gave me the POA. I make rational decisions. 6 weeks later, dad had a moment of clarity. The fog lifted. He looked around the room. Jessica asleep in the chair next to his bed, still in yesterday's clothes. Bills stacked on the counter she'd been paying from her grooming money. The photo book on his nightstand. Pages worn from constant use. He asked me, Where's Daniel? I didn't know what to say. Dad nodded slowly. Then he said, I gave it to the wrong one, didn't I? He fell back asleep before I could respond. But he was right. Daniel had the title, the power of attorney, the legal authority, the trust. Jessica had none of that. She just had our dad. And that turned out to be the only thing that actually mattered.